The internet is a strange place. It always has been. Beneath the polished timelines and curated content, there's another web, fractured, forgotten, and deeply unsettling. It's a place of digital folklore, viral mysteries, broken media, eerie videos, and cryptic forms alike. These stories have lived on through message boards, YouTube comments, Reddit threads, and archive dives, shaping a sort of modern mythology that's as fascinating as it is unsettling. They make us question what's real, what's performance, and what's been left behind in the digital dust. So today, we're descending back into one of the internet's strangest rabbit holes, the weird and creepy Internet Stuff Iceberg. Tier by tier, we'll explore the bizarre history of the web's eeriest legends, starting with the familiar and ending somewhere far beyond the edge of what most people even know exists online. Welcome back to the weird and creepy Internet Iceberg.
Normal porn for normalpeople.com. Normal porn for normalpeople.com began as a creepypasta that first appeared online in the early 2010s. The story describes a user receiving a strange chain email containing a link to a website with that domain. The site claimed to be for the advancement of a new kind of pornography, but what it actually hosted were disturbing, low-quality videos that had nothing to do with traditional adult content. Instead, the videos showed people engaging in confusing or eerie behavior, such as silently eating food, sitting in empty rooms, or performing unexplained tasks in an unsettling manner. The most memorable aspect of the creepypasta was the detailed list of videos supposedly hosted on the site. Each had a short, vague title and a description of the footage, which ranged from uncomfortable to outright disturbing. One example involved a man in a mascot costume dancing in silence, while another showed a woman tied to a wall being sprayed with a hose. The story's narrator ends their account by claiming the videos left them deeply unsettled and unsure of the site's true purpose. Following the popularity of the creepypasta, a real website was launched using the same domain name. However, this version was not made by the story's original author. It featured confusing text, conspiracy-like language, and no connection to the original videos. The real website appeared more like a strange art or protest page than anything related to the original narrative. Tanasinn. Tanasinn is a cryptic phrase and meme that originated on Japanese image boards like 2channel, where it became a recurring part of surreal and nonsensical threads. The word itself is a distorted version of Tanashi, meaning fun in Japanese, but within the context of Tanasinn posts, it carries an eerie or unsettling tone that directly contradicts its literal meaning. The phrase most often appears as, "You must feel Tanasinn," which users interpret less as a directive and more as a signal that things are about to get strange. One of the most recognizable elements of Tanasinn culture is the Doraemon ASCII art, created using ShiftGIS, a Japanese character encoding that allowed for intricate text-based illustrations on early web forums. This version of Doraemon, often stretched, warped, or given an off expression, quickly became associated with the phrase. This image is typically accompanied by cryptic or disjointed text, contributing to the overall feeling of unease. Its strange visual presence helped define the early aesthetic of Tanasinn posts. Tanasinn isn't part of an arc or a cohesive narrative. There's no deeper lore or defined story. Instead, the posts rely on formatting oddities, logical non sequiturs, and broken syntax to give the impression of hidden meaning where none can be confirmed. It became a kind of digital anti-signal, meant to confuse, unsettle, or provoke thought through its refusal to clarify itself. Over time, Tanasinn migrated to Western platforms like 4chan, where it was adopted by users interested in net art, glitch aesthetics, and anti-humor. It remains one of the earliest and most recognizable examples of internet surrealism, less about what it means, and more about the way it distorts your expectations. Mortis.com. Mortis.com was a mysterious website that first drew attention in the late 1990s and early 2000s. It featured a minimal design, sparse HTML pages, and directories filled with image and video files that didn't immediately explain their purpose. The site lacked context or clear navigation, leaving visitors to speculate about its intent. Over time, it became the subject of online rumors due to its eerie name, ambiguous content, and overall presentation. The site was eventually linked to a man named Thomas Ling, who has claimed that the website was just a personal project. According to him, Mortis.com was intended to host things like wedding videos, art, and miscellaneous data. He denied any hidden or sinister meaning behind it. Despite this, many remain unconvinced due to the cryptic file names and the large, disorganized volume of files hosted there. Speculation about Mortis.com includes everything from it being a front for hidden information to a forgotten ARG, or an encrypted communication hub. However, none of these theories have been proven. The absence of any clear theme or functionality gave the site an almost accidental creepiness. Its content wasn't overtly disturbing, but its silence and structure led people to fill in the blanks. Although the website is now offline, discussions about it persist in forums focused on internet mysteries and digital archaeology. Lex the Wonderdog. Lex the Wonderdog is an obscure film supposedly directed by Sidney Ling, who is often cited as the youngest film director in the world. According to scattered references online, Ling directed the movie at the age of 13 and was reportedly recognized by the Guinness Book of World Records for this achievement. However, no confirmed footage, production stills, or reliable sources verifying the existence of Lex the Wonderdog have surfaced, leaving the film's actual existence in question. Most mentions of the movie stem from online posts, self-published articles, and blogs that aggressively praise Ling's talents, often using strangely repetitive language and vague claims. Some researchers have noted that many of these articles seem to originate from Ling himself or individuals closely connected to him. This has led to theories that the entire narrative surrounding Lex the Wonderdog, and even Ling's broader resume, may have been exaggerated or fabricated. Adding to the confusion is the lack of documentation for the film's cast, crew, distribution, or any screenings. Despite the Guinness listing, which some believe may have been based on self-reported information, no concrete evidence of the film's existence has been made public. While there's no indication of supernatural or horror elements, like in typical creepypasta stories, Lex the Wonderdog has become its own kind of internet mystery. It's cited as an example of how persistent self-promotion, gaps in verification, and the early web's lack of fact-checking can contribute to long-running speculation, and in some cases, myth-making. Laughing Horses Orifice Headquarters. Laughing Horses Orifice Headquarters, or LHOHQ for short, is a bizarre and cryptic website that's been circulating online since at least the early 2000s. At first glance, it appears to be part of hacker subculture, filled with disjointed HTML pages, looping audio, distorted imagery, and occasional references to hacking, surveillance, and government conspiracies. But over time, visitors realized there was no coherent message or goal behind the site, only layers of surreal, sometimes disturbing content that seems to sprawl endlessly. Though many originally believed LHOHQ might be a digital safe house for hackers or an ARG, It's now widely accepted that the site is most likely a long-running experimental art project, or the personal outlet of a very committed, possibly unstable individual. The site has occasionally been updated over the years, with strange additions like facial masks, journal-like entries, and shifting layouts that make it feel alive or reactive. Some theorize it's now partially maintained by AI, while others think a single person continues to build it obsessively. There's no clear narrative or interactive element to LHOHQ, but that's part of what draws people to it. It exists outside normal web structure, half broken, half performative, offering a glimpse into something that might be art, or might just be madness captured in HTML. Whatever its purpose, LHOHQ has become a recurring footnote in internet mystery circles, preserved more for its atmosphere than its meaning. Dozer Fleet Wiki. Dozer Fleet Wiki is a little-known online wiki that began circulating in the mid-2010s. It documents the works of a fictional multimedia company called Dozer Fleet Productions. The entire project appears to be the creation of a single individual who has built an expansive fictional universe across various formats, ranging from comics and TV show concepts to alternate histories and original characters. The content is dense and often confusing, filled with niche terminology, character profiles, and world building that references other made-up entities. Some entries come across as surreal or conspiratorial, mixing genres like science fiction, Christian themes, political commentary, and superhero fiction. Because of the scale and obscure presentation, some readers initially speculated that the wiki was part of an ARG or a collaborative world-building project. However, it's now widely accepted that it's the personal creation of one person with a long-term commitment to expanding their own fictional world. Despite its low traffic and limited community involvement, Dozer Fleet Wiki has occasionally gained attention in internet forums for its sheer volume, strange structure, and the creator's dedication to building out the fictional Dozer Fleet brand. WorldCorp Enterprises. WorldCorp Enterprises is the name attached to a disturbing archive of online videos, music, and cryptic content that surfaced in the mid-2010s. Initially dismissed as just another surreal internet art project or ARG, WorldCorp quickly drew attention for its unsettling imagery, distorted music, and deeply uncomfortable themes, some of which involve apparent abuse and child exploitation. The videos, often featuring abstract visuals, manipulated audio, and haunting voice clips, were uploaded across various platforms including YouTube and archive.org, sparking debate about their origins and intent. Some viewers believe WorldCorp was simply a provocative multimedia project meant to push boundaries or promote the creator's music under the alias WorldCorp. Others, however, argue that the material is rooted in something far darker. One of the most persistent theories claims the creator used the project as a cover for real-life abuse, specifically involving his younger brother, who may appear in some of the videos. These accusations remain unverified, but the intensity and specificity of the content continue to fuel speculation that it documents something real. There's no confirmed identity behind WorldCorp, and no one has taken ownership of the project in any public way. Whether a disturbing form of expression or something more sinister, WorldCorp Enterprises occupies a unique and troubling space in internet folklore, not just because of what it shows, but because of how little we truly understand about who made it, or why. MK Vlogs. MK Vlogs refer to a now infamous series of online posts and videos by Kenny Veach, an experienced solo hiker and YouTube user who disappeared in 2014 while searching for a strange cave in the Nevada desert. Veach claimed he once discovered a cave shaped like the letter M near Nellis Air Force Base, and that as he approached it, his body began to vibrate in a way he couldn't explain. Disturbed by the experience, he left, but returned later with the intention of finding it again, this time documenting his journey. He uploaded a video titled M Cave Hike, showing a trip into the desert, but he was unable to relocate the cave. He promised to return for a follow-up exploration. Not long after, he went missing. His phone was later found near an abandoned mine shaft, but no trace of him has ever been recovered. Speculation around his disappearance has taken many forms. Some believe he succumbed to the harsh desert environment while hiking alone. Others think he intentionally vanished or died by suicide. A more conspiratorial corner of the internet suspects foul play or a government cover-up, given the cave's alleged proximity to restricted military land. The strange physical sensations he described near the cave, and the lack of any confirmed location, have only added fuel to the speculation. While the M-Cave mystery has inspired copycat explorations and amateur investigations, none have conclusively found the cave or resolved what happened to Kenny Veach. His story remains one of the internet's most well-known, real-life missing person cases, tied to online content, drawing in people who are fascinated not by fiction, but by how little we really know. Cthulhu.net. Cthulhu.net is a sparse and cryptic website that has long been linked to Mortis.com, another infamous early internet mystery. Like Mortis, it is associated with a man named Thomas Ling. The site itself contains almost nothing: a plain background, a single white chess piece, and the phrase, "dead but dreaming." That phrase is a direct reference to H.P. Lovecraft's mythos, suggesting the site may be either an artistic homage or a continuation of Mortis.com's obsession with death and the unknown. Despite its simplicity, people have combed through the site's source code and related domains, looking for hidden messages, ARG clues, or deeper meaning, so far without success. Some theorists believe Cthulhu.net was meant to act as a sleeper site, part of a larger network that activates only when others go offline or change. Others argue it was a landing page for a project that never launched, or simply a conceptual art piece designed to invoke a sense of unease. Its connection to Mortis.com and the recurring themes of death, sleep, and symbols have earned it a permanent place in discussions of early internet horror lore, even if it never says much on its own. Glitter Conspiracy. The Glitter Conspiracy is a real-world mystery that started not as a hoax or creepypasta, but from a 2018 New York Times interview with GlitterX, one of only 2 known glitter manufacturers in the US. During the interview, a representative from GlitterX refused to name their largest client, stating cryptically that the customer doesn't want anyone to know it's glitter. This vague answer sparked widespread speculation across Reddit and niche forums. Who would use glitter in massive quantities, but not want the public to know? Theories range from military stealth tech to cosmetic-grade glitter in food, to the bizarre idea that boat paint, toothpaste, or surveillance equipment secretly relies on glitter. The mystery has since evolved into a kind of internet legend, not just about what glitter is used for, but why someone would want to hide it. Some tie it to ideas about secrecy in manufacturing, corporate espionage, or more fringe beliefs about subliminal influence and micro-tracking. While often joked about, the glitter conspiracy remains one of the internet's stranger real mysteries. A single vague quote from a legitimate source, spawning a rabbit hole that no one has conclusively closed. Magabon.com. Magabon.com was not an official fan site, but rather part of a disturbing ARG-style website created by a person named Frank, also known online as Danung. The site featured grainy black and white videos of a man wearing a gas mask, presented without context and accompanied by cryptic imagery and distorted text. It was designed to appear as if it were run by an obsessive stalker documenting his fixation on Magabon, the early YouTube creator known for her quiet, expressionless videos. The unsettling vibe of Magabon's actual content silent vlogs with long stares into the camera, made the ARG's premise feel plausible to many viewers at the time. The website created an atmosphere of voyeurism and paranoia, leading to widespread speculation that Magabon herself was being watched or threatened. Eventually, it was revealed that Magabon.com had no connection to the real Magabon, and the entire project was fictional, orchestrated by Danung as an independent art experiment. Still, the site is remembered for how it preyed on real internet personalities, and how it raised early questions about parasocial relationships and privacy in online spaces. Jody.org. Jody.org is the website of Jody, an early internet art group created by Joan Heemskerk and Dirk Paismans in the mid-1990s. The site is known for intentionally breaking typical web design rules, using confusing layouts, visual glitches, and seemingly broken code to disrupt how users normally interact with websites. Rather than offering clear content or easy navigation, Jody.org displays abstract graphics, flashing text, and disorganized code. It's meant to expose the hidden structure of websites and software, making users more aware of how digital systems work behind the scenes. The project is a key part of the net.art movement, which uses the internet as both a medium and a subject for artistic expression. Jody.org isn't meant to scare people, but its strange and unpredictable design often leaves visitors feeling confused or uncomfortable. Over time, it has influenced many digital artists to explore glitch art, unconventional interfaces, and the idea of using code as a form of creative disruption.
Sentimental Corp. Sentimental Corp is a website and digital project created by an online figure known as Randy Prozac. The site is known for its unusual, often unsettling content, featuring looping audio, low-resolution images, and cryptic messages. While its presentation is abstract and hard to interpret, it appears to be a personal or artistic expression of anti-corporate views and general distrust towards elite power structures. Active primarily in the 2000s and early 2010s, Sentimental Corp doesn't follow a clear narrative. Instead, it offers a fragmented digital space filled with sarcastic commentary, disjointed visuals, and intentionally crude web design. Some parts of the site reflect themes of memory and disillusionment, while others seem to mock consumer culture and corporate messaging. The site's creator, Randy Prozac, has expressed disdain for large institutions and has used the platform to publish bizarre animations, writing, and artwork that reflect these views. Though some users initially interpreted it as part of an ARG or performance art project, most now recognize it as a standalone creation tied to one individual's personal and political ideas. It has since become a niche reference point in internet culture, especially among people interested in anti-establishment media or strange online archives. Fandom Wiki Circumcision Meltdown. Often referred to as the Silent Hill Circumcision Incident, this bizarre and infamous episode took place on the Silent Hill Wiki, hosted on Fandom. What began as a minor, arguably off-topic mention of circumcision on a character page spiraled into one of the most surreal and heated edit wars in the platform's history. It started when a user added a note about a character from Silent Hill being circumcised, a detail that was never confirmed in-game or by developers. Despite its irrelevance, the comment wasn't immediately removed, which led to a wave of increasingly aggressive edits, revisions, and heated arguments over whether the details should remain. Editors began inserting explicit speculation, bizarre atomical arguments, and inflammatory statements, not just on the page, but across several unrelated wiki entries. The chaos escalated quickly. Pages were vandalized, admins were overwhelmed, and users clashed in lengthy debates that had nothing to do with Silent Hill. At one point, entry pages were locked due to the sheer volume of edits and the absurdity of the discourse. What had started as a stray, seemingly trollish edit turned into digital warfare. The event has since become infamous in Wiki culture, often used as a shorthand for any meltdown caused by a wildly off-topic or polarizing edit. Soup.avi. Soup.avi is one of the internet's most unsettling and enduring video mysteries. First uploaded in the mid-2010s, the video shows a man weeping while eating soup in a featureless white room. He's soon approached by two figures in cartoonish, oversized white masks. They pat his back, stroke his head, and display what could be mistaken for empathy. But the man remains visibly shaken, almost terrified. What makes the video so disturbing is its total absence of context. There's no introduction, no aftermath, no clear narrative. Just silence, discomfort, and dread. The masks are linked to a performance group called Ray Ray, but how this footage ended up online, or who the man in the video is, remains unknown. Some believe it's a staged piece of performance art gone viral. Others insist it depicts something real, perhaps a punishment, interrogation, or breakdown caught on camera. There's even a theory that the footage was stolen and leaked after the Ray Ray characters were taken by someone else entirely, adding more questions than answers. Whether it's art, trauma, or something far more sinister, Soup.avi has remained lodged in internet folklore for nearly a decade, precisely because it offers no answers. It exists only to be watched, wondered about, and remembered. The Fifth Nail. The Fifth Nail is a blog created by convicted serial killer Joseph Edward Duncan III. Before and during his imprisonment, Duncan used the site to write about his thoughts, experiences, and later, his crimes. The blog included personal reflections, attempts at justification, and eventually detailed confessions relating to the murders and sexual assaults. Duncan maintained the blog through third-party postings, even after being arrested. He wrote about his childhood, his philosophy on morality, and his views on justice, often in a disturbing and manipulative tone. The name The Fifth Nail refers to a symbolic idea Duncan had about a missing nail from Christ's crucifixion, something he used to frame his narrative about personal suffering and supposed redemption. The blog became a controversial part of the case, with some posts appearing while he was awaiting trial. It has since been taken down, but archived versions remain. The Fifth Nail is often cited in discussions about the intersection of crime, media, and the internet, highlighting how digital platforms can be used by criminals to maintain a presence, or push their narratives even after arrest. 4chan Baboon Story. The 4chan Baboon Story refers to a surreal and unsettling post made on 4chan describing a recurring nightmare. In the dream, the user claims they routinely go to their kitchen at night, grab some food, and wash their hands in the sink. But every time they look out the window next to the sink, they see a baboon staring back at them. The shock causes them to scream and immediately wake up, completely paralyzed with fear. The simplicity and repetition of the dream made it strangely disturbing, and the image of a silent, watching baboon became an oddly memorable internet horror symbol. The story spread across 4chan and other forums, with some users sharing similar experiences of creating edits and variations. Despite being just a short anecdote, it left a lasting impression due to how mundane and specific the fear was. It's often cited in iceberg lists and internet threads as a good example of how anonymous boards can produce eerie, low-effort horror that sticks with people, despite the lack of build-up or context. Haunted Library Webcam. Haunted Library Webcam refers to the Willard Public Library, located in Willard, Utah. It once offered a 24/7 live webcam for readers to watch multiple rooms in real time, including the historic reading rooms and entrance. One unique feature of the library's official website was its Ghost Cams page, where visitors were encouraged to check the live stream for paranormal activity. Rumors and stories circulated that people had spotted ghostly figures, moving lights, and unexplained shadows on the feed. These sightings were mostly shared through Reddit threads and regional folklore forums, fueling a friendly, small-town mythos around the library. Despite the supernatural claims, the library itself never endorsed ghostly hunting as an official activity. The webcam remained active for years as a curiosity, and then quietly ended when the system was updated. No confirmed evidence of paranormal activity was ever captured. FusionAnomaly.net. FusionAnomaly.net is a sprawling, chaotic website created by someone using the name AtomJack. Active since the early 2000s, it reads more like a digital notebook of a conspiracy theorist than an intentional mystery or game. The site's design is cluttered and disorganized, featuring long, unstructured text blocks, strange formatting, and links to tangents on aliens, time travel, psychedelics, cyberpunk, and metaphysics. Rather than offering a coherent argument or narrative, the site jumps between obscure references and disjointed claims. AtomJack mixes personal theories with quotes from science fiction, philosophy, and conspiracy lore, often without context, creating a dense wall of paranoia and speculation. There are sections on topics like anomaly fusion, DMT entities, and secret knowledge, but they rarely lead anywhere conclusive. While not an ARG or deliberate internet puzzle, Fusion Anomaly gained attention for how overwhelming and bizarre it is. Some users treat it like a digital curiosity, while others saw it as an example of internet information overload, or a genuine window into someone's obsession with hidden truth. It remains online today, largely untouched, as a relic of early web eccentricity. SLC Daycare Center. Funtime Kids Daycare, located in Salt Lake City, became the focus of widespread conspiracy theories starting in January 2015. A Reddit user claimed to have lived across the street for 5 years without ever seeing a child enter or exit the building. The building's bright green exterior, covered windows, and deserted playground fueled speculation. Some locally posted that it was a CIA front, organ harvesting site, or drug operation. Others claimed to witness the interior, a chair facing a TV broadcasting a live feed of another room. Yet several neighbors and a postal carrier stated the daycare was operational. Children were inside. The only odd pattern was it always seemed to be nap time. Public records confirm the business was licensed since 2013, with only minor complaints unrelated to criminal activity. Despite the lack of evidence, Reddit threads were deleted due to harassment issues, and trolls even organized Storm Funtime events mocking Area 51 themes. Worlds.com cult. Worlds.com, a 1995-era 3D chat platform, also known as Alpha World, developed a reputation for inexplicable and unsettling player behavior among its dwindling user base. Despite its obscure status by 2010s, rumors circulated of a cult-like presence centered around a user named Nexalist. Nexalist was said to trail new players, teleporting them into user-generated worlds filled with disturbing themes, satanic imagery, disembodied avatars, and bleak architecture. Some players describe being led to worlds playing sounds of animals in pain or finding explicit content tagged with real names. Though often labeled as a cult, most players and community experts argue it was exaggerated trolling rather than an organized group. Worlds.com itself was originally developed by Worlds Incorporated, with high-profile backing in the 1990s, including input from figures like Steven Spielberg and David Bowie. However, the platform eventually exited the mainstream and continued running largely untouched, with its servers maintained despite minimal players. Alex from Tennessee. In April 2013, a 4chan user posted coordinates to an abandoned building in Elizabethton, Tennessee, claiming there is a prize hidden there. The thread included cryptic phrases like, "It is warm," images of a plastic bag, and what looked like a rotting hand. A few days later, another user calling themselves Alex from Tennessee claimed that they were going to investigate. He posted photos in real time showing a decaying building, pills, old wiring, and a plastic bag containing a dead animal and a paper plate with a message. "Plate's a date, a very important mate. You shouldn't have come. I lied." He later claimed he heard someone arriving, saw movements outside, and then stopped posting entirely. No further updates were ever posted. Some believe Alex was real and something happened to him. Others argue the entire thing was a hoax, possibly staged by the original poster. Follow-up visits to the area found no trace of what was described. To this day, no identity for Alex has ever been confirmed, and no missing person report linked to the event was ever found. Coldness in my heart. Coldness in my heart, also known under alternate usernames like Coldness in her heart and Reach for the Surface, was a Tumblr user active around 2013. Her blogs became infamous for posting highly graphic, disturbing content, mostly focused on themes of violence, self-harm, and emotional distress. The images were often extreme and attracted attention from concerned users and moderators. The account was removed multiple times, with each reappearance under a new name drawing in more curiosity and speculation. Some believed it was part of an art project or performance piece. Others thought it was a genuine cry for help or an attempt to glorify disturbing behavior. After the third blog takedown, the user disappeared entirely and has not been active since. Her sudden disappearance, combined with the intensity of the content, left a lasting impression on early Tumblr communities and remains one of the more well-known examples of unsettling user-driven internet mystery from that era. Mostly Harmless. Harmless Hiker, later nicknamed Mostly Harmless, was the alias of an unidentified man who died while hiking the Appalachian Trail in 2018. He had no ID, phone, or identifying documents, and claimed he was hiking to escape the digital world. Other hikers reported that he was friendly, intelligent, and said he worked in tech. He sometimes went by the trail name Denim. When his body was found in a tent in Florida, he was severely underweight but showed no clear signs of trauma. For 2 years, his identity remained a mystery, with online communities trying to solve the case. Posters on sites like Reddit and Facebook shared photos and theories, and the case gained widespread attention. Eventually, he was identified in 2021 as Vance Rodriguez, a software developer from New York with a troubled past.
Angry Neighbor. Angry Neighbor was a strange and unsettling YouTube channel that gained attention in niche online communities for its obsessive focus on recording audio of the creator's neighbors. Framed as documentation for a noise complaint, the channel uploaded dozens of audio clips, often low quality and repetitive, capturing footsteps, muffled voices, and indistinct thumps. What made the channel stand out wasn't the content itself, but the sheer volume of uploads and the creator's tone. Descriptions and video titles often suggested growing paranoia, frustration, and fixation on the neighbor's behavior. Some viewers believed the recordings were evidence of mental decline or an unhealthy obsession, while others speculated it could be a performance or an ARG, though there was never any indication of a larger narrative. Eventually, the channel was taken down or abandoned, leaving behind a small archive discussed on sites like Reddit's r/unresolved mysteries. It remains as a lesser-known example of internet content that offers an uncomfortable glimpse into someone's private frustrations that are broadcasted for the world to see. GodlyRecon. GodlyRecon was a short-lived YouTube channel run by a college-aged woman who posted personal vlog-style videos discussing her daily life. The content was mostly unremarkable, typical updates about school, routines, and personal thoughts, until her final upload, simply titled, "Goodbye." The video itself was completely black and featured what many described as faint, distorted audio that sounded like distant screaming or crying. There were no visuals or context, just the unsettling audio and the implication that something was seriously wrong. The video was soon taken down by YouTube, either due to policy violations or user reports, and the entire channel eventually disappeared. Speculation grew online, particularly on forums like Lost Media Wiki, where users debated whether the final video was a cry for help, a hoax, or something more serious. No further information about the creator ever surfaced, and no one has been able to confirm her identity or what happened after the channel's disappearance. GodlyRecon remains one of the many eerie and unresolved pieces of internet folklore, an example of how even mundane online spaces can take on a disturbing tone when suddenly and inexplicably cut short. Discharges.org. Discharges.org was a shock site active during the 2000s, part of the wave of disturbing websites designed to unsettle or horrify unsuspecting visitors. Unlike many other sites in the genre that relied on jump scares or fake imagery, Discharges.org featured actual graphic and disturbing content, including real-life injuries, bodily fluids, and medical conditions presented without context or warning. The site gained notoriety for its grotesque and explicit visuals, making it infamous among early internet users who encountered it through shock link baiting or forum dares. It was active until around 2010, and officially went offline in 2016, likely due to domain expiration or removal by its host. Little is known about who created it or why, but it is generally assumed to have been built purely for shock value rather than any artistic or narrative intent. Though largely forgotten today, Discharges.org is sometimes referenced in discussions of early internet horror and forbidden web content. It serves as a grim example of how far boundary-pushing websites were willing to go during the less regulated period of the internet's development. Eon5.org. Eon5.org is a mysterious and nearly contentless website that has puzzled internet users for years. The site consists of a single static image, what appears to be a black and white photo of a tunnel. There are no links, no text, and no clear purpose. The domain itself offers no clues, and no one has come forward to claim ownership or explain its meaning. Speculation around eon5.com ranges widely. Some believe it may be an abandoned art project, while others think it could be a placeholder for a larger plan that never launched. The eerie, industrial-looking tunnel photo has prompted theories involving surveillance, secret experiments, or even hidden internet lore, but none of these have ever been confirmed. Others suspect it could be an ARG entry point, or just a bizarre internet relic left behind by a bored user. Despite the lack of actual content, Eon5.com has gained a cult following online, with people sharing screenshots, reverse image searches, and deep dive videos trying to make sense of it. But ultimately, nothing concrete is known. Kurat963. Kurat963 is an obscure YouTube channel, often categorized as an ARG, though it doesn't follow the typical structure of a game or puzzle. Instead, it presents as a grim, self-contained digital monologue, one directed at the viewer with disturbing intimacy. The channel's content is made up of dark, low-resolution videos, often featuring glitchy or minimal imagery, outdoor scenes, distorted visuals, and cryptic spoken dialogue. One recurring theme is the idea that you, the viewer, are being addressed by a hostile force that knows you, despises you, and is correcting you. Unlike most ARGs that bait the viewer into solving clues or uncovering a narrative, Kurat963 offers no reward. The purpose, if any, appears to be purely psychological. The voiceovers are unsettling. They whisper things like, "You have no desire for real connection, just attention. I will correct this." In another video, a voice says, "In this life, you're doing great. Just a few more moments, and we will begin the procedure." Sometimes, crying can be heard in the background. Sometimes it is screams. And in at least one video, the channel seems to feature a woman crying out for help, something that has led viewers to speculate about potential real-life danger or abuse being embedded in the project. There are no embedded codes, no puzzles to solve. The mystery is in the tone and presentation itself. Why was this made? Who is it for? The name Kurat may be a clue. It's an Estonian word for devil, but the 963 remains unexplained. Some suspect it's a warped version of 666. Others think it may be connected to Tesla's 369 numerology, inverted to represent distortion or corruption. John Lang. John Lang was a man from Fresno, California, who became the subject of internet mystery communities after a series of cryptic online posts and videos. Lang publicly accused the Fresno Police Department of harassment and claimed he was being watched and targeted. He shared footage of what he believed were undercover officers surveilling his home, and made several posts warning that he believed he was going to be killed. In January 2016, Lang was found dead in his home after it caught fire under suspicious circumstances. He had been stabbed multiple times, and the cause of the fire was never clearly explained. Some ruled it a suicide. Others saw signs of foul play. No charges were ever filed. The case gained traction online because of Lang's warnings before his death, including a post on social media days before the fire, saying he would likely be found dead soon. Despite public interest and speculation, his death remains officially unsolved. Help with Advice. Help with Advice is a YouTube channel run by a man who claims he is being harassed and tortured by the US government. In the videos, he describes himself being targeted with direct energy weapons, sonic attacks, and surveillance. He often films himself on his farm, pointing to helicopters, strange lights, and unexplained injuries as evidence. There are no ARG elements or signs of fiction, just raw, repetitive footage of someone convinced he's being persecuted. Playground. The Remnants of Playground is an ARG hosted on YouTube that documents the thoughts and archived footage of a person known only as the protagonist. According to the videos, the protagonist was secretly part of a private internet group called Playground, consisting of 5 people. 4 members publicly shared videos on the channel, while the protagonist watched everything without revealing themselves. The ARG unfolds through a series of glitch-heavy, heavily edited videos with captions and distorted audio. The protagonist claims to be recovering old footage, often labeling clips by which member recorded them. The tone is detached and observational at first, but later entries imply rising tension between the group and growing resentment from the protagonist. The content becomes increasingly unstable, with timestamps, usernames, and voice clips suggesting something went wrong between the group members. The protagonist seems fixated on surveillance, control, and documentation, hinting that they may have played a more active role in the group's disintegration than they admit. No real names are used, and the group's fate is left ambiguous. WKCR hijacking. This alleged radio hijacking was first posted to 4chan by a user claiming to have recorded it off of WKCR 89.9 FM, Columbia University station, sometime in 1994 or 1995. The tape starts with classical music before it's interrupted by high-pitched squealing and the heavy breathing of a woman. Soon, her voice begins rapidly reading what sounds like obituaries, one mentioning a victim from the Pan Am Flight 103 crash, before dissolving into whispers and gibberish. Eventually, the normal broadcast returns, and a host apologizes for the delay. Some believe the tape is genuine, while others argue it's a hoax or prank, pointing to the similar sounding voices and unusually clear audio. Its origin remains unknown. October 28, 2011.com. Oct282011.com was a cryptic website that appeared in the early 2010s, claiming a significant religious or world-changing event would occur on October 28, 2011. The site contained vague prophetic language and ominous warnings, but offered no clear explanation of what was expected to happen. A phone number was listed on the page, and callers reported hearing static, breathing sounds, and occasional unidentifiable noises. No further information was ever provided, and when the date arrived, nothing of note occurred. The site remained up for a short while before going offline entirely. HappyCube. HappyCube is an online forum tied to the Wyoming incident, an alternate reality game that originated from a fake television hijacking video. The original video depicted a broadcast interruption, allegedly from a local Wyoming station, where a distorted voice repeated unsettling phrases over flashing imagery, including dismembered heads. Though many initially believed the hijacking to be real, it was later confirmed to be a hoax, likely inspired by the real-life Max Headroom incident. The ARG continued through the HappyCube forum, where users could post theories, decode cryptic clues, and follow the evolving narrative. The forum served as the central hub for the game's extended universe, connecting players to further puzzles, in-universe characters, and hidden content. Onrix. Onrix refers to a cryptic website hosted on AngelFire that claims to document a fictional illness called NRYX, later also referred to as Gomek syndrome. The website is mostly written in Thai, with distorted text and unsettling imagery, including a photo of a Bangkok prosthodontist whose image becomes increasingly corrupted when clicked. After 5 clicks, the site redirects to a new page, displaying a smiley face with the words, "Please wake up." Exploration of the site reveals additional pages, including one featuring a blue key labeled Henrix, and a bypass login link that leads to a video of the Persephone number station, a real part of the Lost Experience ARG for the TV show Lost. However, there's no confirmed link between the Lost Experience and the Onrix website. Some users have reported finding a bizarre 600-plus page Thai language PDF file, allegedly tied to the Thai Department of Mental Health, although its relevance to the site remains unclear.
And that'll conclude the weird and creepy Internet Iceberg. We've encountered many internet oddities, from potential hitman sites all the way to haunted library webcams, all of which proved to be interesting in their own right. Some have since been solved, others remain a mystery. But one thing remains certain: these stories will continue to captivate the minds of many. May your curiosity remain unchanged. And as always, thank you for watching.